today. So we're going to take a quick look at some of the newer solutions that we're announcing at this event and how they can benefit the executive teams and the teams that work below them. So right now we're looking at the IT Executive Scorecard. So this is the VP of Applications Edition. And on the VP of Applications Edition, this provides the team a single rolled up view of all the programs and processes that these people are responsible for. By monitoring a series of key performance indicators, this exec can measure the performance of his team, his organization, and also has a definitive way of communicating the results of his team to his peers and across the organization. Now in this particular case, this executive is responsible for innovation delivery.
And this dashboard is very extensible, so that is to say they can customize it and tune it in the way that they want. And it enables customers that already have some cost and investments in a set of tools around applications already. They can leverage those and publish them up in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is exactly what these guys are doing. And so in the case of trying to drive innovation delivery, they have the challenge of funding it, of course. And so the best way they feel that they can fund it is by improving the quality in production and changing the spend that they're having to invest in keeping the lights on. And the best way to measure that is on how many defects are actually being reported in production. So in this case, the organization's taking a good look at it and they're watching that metric, that key performance indicator, very closely. So as we look here, what we're actually seeing is the number of defects that are reported in production. Again, live demo, and we're susceptible to the load times here as we go through some things.
But as he's doing that, the point is in each one of these, and this is after many, many conversations with the VP of Apps, is pulling that data out. They've got the data, they've got all these tools, but how do you express it up into the key performance indicators?
Right, and here what we're seeing is over time, the measurable period of time that they're looking at, things are moving in the right direction, right? Less defects are being reported in production. Defects caught in production are the most expensive ones to fix. So these key performance indicators, while valuable visually, they're only as good as the technology underneath them that's populating that information. So let's take a look at how this team is achieving this positive result.
And Norm, our schedule thing is saying we've got about 2 minutes left, so I know we have a gazillion things we want to show.
All right, so we'll march on very quickly. So here what we're looking at is application lifecycle intelligence. So application lifecycle intelligence is an extension to the HP's leadership portfolio around application lifecycle management. What it does is it combines source code and build code systems into a single unified solution. And it does so in a completely vendor agnostic way. So no other vendor can provide that, no other vendor can bring that kind of integration. Some may have solutions, but they lock you into a particular vendor and a particular technology. So the key things that are coming out of this particular solution is around the information associated with code changes and what's really happening in the development process.
This has been such a, as a long-time software developer, getting the relationship between who owns the requirements and what code changes are occurring, huge problem. And then tracking that all the way, and we're not going to have time now, but tracking it all the way into the build context.
Exactly. This is very significant information because as you can see here, you can see what code is being touched and specifically against what requirements that they're being touched against, and whether or not they're working against defects, requirements, or in this case, possibly unassigned code here. We also see,
never happened.
You know, developers gone wild. But what we're really seeing here is the number of lines touched, the amount of code touched, and against which particular products it's being touched.
Okay, we gotta, before we run out of time, we gotta go see, you gotta show them Service Health Analyzer and Optimizer. Just a quick scan through.
So here what we're looking at is Service Health Optimizer. Now this is part of the BSM 9.1 Service Intelligence Technologies. It does three things. It allows you to plan for your future with respect to your virtual environments. It allows you to manage the capacity that you have in your virtual environments. And it allows you to forecast where you're going. All right? So this really deals with the fundamental problem that operations people have around really getting the most for their investment around the virtual environments and dealing with kind of that virtual sprawl issue that we see.
I mean, look at just, while this is sort of a simplistic screen, there's the view that says, just stay over to the left for a second. If you go, so you've got your business process, these are your apps on the left, your physical to virtual. Remember, you're doing this across different hypervisor types, and then mapping it into the utilization. That view to be able to give you a good sense of your utilization, incredibly challenging. Then feeding, and in the second, what he's going to do, you're now in Health Analyzer? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Take it away. All right. Now you go a step further.
Yeah, again, BSN 9.1 Service Intelligence Technologies. This is Service Health Analyzer. And what Service Health Analyzer does is it allows you to have the ability to be proactive rather than reactive to events. So it learns about the environment that it's operating in, and it starts to build statistical baselines. So it understands what healthy and good is, and it understands when there's a deviation to that healthy and good.
So on the right-hand side of the screen, you see all of the different contexts that it is monitoring. That does not have to be unique to HP software. And then what the Service Health Analyzer is doing is it's looking at anomalies relative to historic behavior. This is a general purpose mechanism that we can use that then gives the organization an opportunity to proactively identify as it's hitting health thresholds.
Right, and to leave everyone with one really important, significant note and capability, what you're seeing right there is that statistical threshold that's being created. And it can be created by a series of metrics being combined. So what does this do? It means that Service Health Analyzer has determined that there is an anomaly taking place. It's fired off a predictive event before it becomes an incident. And in this case, you see that later on, this does in fact become an incident. And so this gave the operations team over about 45 minutes to react to the problem before it became an issue in the organization. And that is incredibly significant and powerful.
Excellent. Norm, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So that is just a quick scan through